Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy Big O. We still talking about what it's like for parents that lost their kids. I can't speak for all parents, but I'm just on personally giving my own experience of what I've been through. So like I said, even after my son passed, it still hadn't completely gotten through to me until I almost lost two more of my sons. And I think that reality is what finally brought me to the point where I had to make a decision to be responsible for the way my not only my life had turned out, but my kids' life too, because they were born into a situation that they had no choice in. And because of that situation and because they wasn't provided the stability and the things that they needed, life was hard for them. And so this is the outcome that you get when you live in the life in the streets and you don't pay attention to how what you're doing is affecting uh, the people around you, especially your kids. Uh, so after my son passed, uh, the rest of my kids struggled tremendously. Uh, the anger that was built up for what happened, the responsibility that all of us felt from not being able to protect him from losing his life, uh, the hurt and the void of not having that piece of you that's that you used to. My son was funny. He was always making you laugh.
Hey,
Uh,
can I chip in on that real quick
yeah,
uh about my brother being funny? He sure was. Sometimes he would make me angry or cry. Sometimes, I had to step away from him. I remember this one time when they was not the crib they used to live at, the house, the next crib after that. I had went downstairs after he had pushed me and stuff like that. And I was crying on the couch and he had rushed right downstairs and sat next to me and started tickling me and he was like, everything gonna be okay. Like no matter how mad, he would make me sometimes, he wouldn't just let me sit there and be mad. I was always, his little brother and he was gonna make sure I'm alright, And sometimes I still think to myself and I'm like, I really wish he really would have just did what I did, because I went through a lot of stuff as a kid too, right? You being in jail, you know, my mama struggling, the abuse she went through, you know. But all I was thinking about is just being a kid, That's why I didn't really fall down that drought, living in the hood and growing up seeing the things that I seen. You know, I had, my two other brothers that just kept me out of trouble. Having Julian around helped me a lot too. You know, he was focused on sports and trying to. So I had like a real good role model growing up when it came to that stuff. Especially my mama. You know, like she had a good way of disguising all the stuff we went through. That's
yeah.
why we didn't really, including my friends that lived around me in Markham. And people knowing you, like a lot of people, protected me and stuff like that, and also kept me out of trouble. So I to this day, I just really hope he would have just focused on being a kid instead of being
Trying
in
to
the
grow
streets.
up too
Yeah,
fast. Yeah.
that's all I can
Yeah, and so then that goes to the next thing that I wanted to talk about, and that's just the role as a parent, right? Sometimes as a parent, we have to stay in the parent's place, and not saying that we shouldn't have a good relationship with our kids, but we can't allow our relationship to cause us to neglect the responsibility of giving the best advice, the best guidance, and the best role model that we can give to our kids as parents. Uh, I know that our generation, as just speaking for myself, I know that I was born. I didn't when I was born. I didn't have a father in my life. I only seen my father a handful of times. I knew my father's side of the family, but me and my father never spent time together. I don't have any memories of me and my father and things like that. So the male figures that I had in my life was either my uncles or uh, it was one person in my mom's life that she had a relationship with, and his family took on the responsibility of helping me grow up. So I do understand what it's like to be born into a situation that you didn't have a choice in, and then have to struggle to figure out life. So to the parents, what I would like to say is accountability is important, and what I'm just gonna speak from for myself. When I seen that I was about to lose two more of my kids, it made me take a good look at the responsibility, the part that I played, and the way that the situation was, because I didn't provide uh, the things that they needed in order for them to come up in a healthy environment or a stable environment for them to have the guidance and direction that they needed. I didn't even have. And so it took a lot of soul searching. It took a lot of praying, and it took a lot of trusting and understanding who God is and who God is in me, right? And what God would like for me. We can always, and I think especially for me, my thing was always how other people looked at me, right? Which wasn't important, because if you worry about what people think of you and you live your life based off trying to get approval from man, then you live in the wrong way. The only approval that you should be worried about is that of God, right? Uh, just making different choices. If I could tell my kids anything, I would tell them what my mom told me one time when I was in prison. She wrote me a letter, and she said that you could either make a choice to live life, you could make a choice that leads to life and the things that come with living life, or you could make a choice that leads to death, right? And she referenced the Bible, Deuteronomy chapter 7 and chapter 8. Chapter 7 speaks about the things that happen if you make this choice. Chapter 8 speaks about the things that happen if you make that choice. And that's basically life, man. Even as far as being in the streets, the violence that we face, because we could choose love over hate anytime. We could choose love over hate anytime, right? A lot of things that go on in the streets happen because we won't humble ourselves. The Bible says, if my people who are called by my name will hear my voice and humble themselves, then I will come into them and they will have peace. And so, I'm just making the decision to want right, to want peace, to want happiness. You know what I'm saying? To make that choice, to want things that leads to life, right? The greatest thing that we can do is love somebody, right? Our obligation to the world is to give love, and if we not, then we denying the world the same thing. Denying the world the same things that we want for ourselves. We want to be loved, so why wouldn't we be willing to give love? So that's just a lesson that I learned in all of this, and to the parents that lost their lost their child. I have a lot of friends that's done lost their kids. I have a lot of friends that I see every day missing their children. I have family that's missing their children, and not just the gun violence, just period. To lose a kid is traumatic, right? That's the worst thing to do to as a parent, to feel that you wasn't able to protect your kid, right? And so to the parents that lost their kid, or to the parents that whose kids passed away due to illnesses or anything like that, my sincere condolences go out to you. My heart goes out to each and every one of you guys. And I'm gonna pray and keep you in prayer, and I want you to do the same for me. And and my kids. I'm still learning and growing, but I was watching TV the other day, and I just so happened to. I was no, I wasn't watching TV. I was on my phone, and I have my church on my phone, even though I haven't been to church in maybe a long time, 2 years probably. Uh, I still watch it on my phone. The church that I belong to, St. Mark's, and Pastor Harris, he was speaking about misusing your grace, right? And I know that for me, especially after all of the things that I've been through, uh, it would be a shame for me to not utilize what God has given me. He's given me another day and another opportunity to make a difference. He's given me an opportunity to help someone. He's given me the opportunity to extend the love that He's extended to me. And so I want to just use that to tell the truth. I want to use that to, you know, give back the things that I've learned, the things that God has revealed in me. And I want to help the people that I can. I want to help the kids that I can. I want to make it possible for us to get back to being a community again. I want to make it possible for us to get back to everyone teaching, right? Each one teach one. Instilling into the kids at wherever they at. I remember it was nowhere in the community that we could go where it wasn't a parent that was giving us good advice, that was watching over us and making sure that we was doing what we were supposed to. We had to actually leave and leave the neighborhood to get away where people didn't know us for us to really do our dirt. In our own neighborhood, we weren't able to do that because it didn't matter what block we was on, whose house we was at. If their parent was there, you was their kid, and they took responsibility for you. So I would like to see us get back to that, and doing the things that we used to do in our communities, having block parties, and not where they spinning the block and all that, where everybody welcomed on the block. That's the way that it should be, where everybody enjoying our city and enjoying our communities and rebuilding and building each other up, promoting each other and doing things like that, promoting only positivity. That's what this podcast stands for, the Pop Out Podcast, promoting only positivity, man, promoting only productivity, and promoting love, right? We could act out of hate, but when you act out of hate, you're gonna get the response of what comes with hate. When you act out of love, you're gonna get the response of what comes with love. And so I want to encourage people to love each other more. I want to encourage people to support each other more. And let's get back to the way that things should be. Let's start back in the house with our kids. You know, showing them what real respect is, and not just only about giving respect, but having respect for themselves, loving themselves enough to want the best for themselves, right? And what I mean by that is not putting yourself in a situation that's going to cause you to be in a messed up situation, cause you to go to jail, cause you to get shot, and all that. You have to love yourself to not want that, to want more for yourself. You have to love yourself